Opening remarks for today's press conference.
Thank you, Wilson. Good morning, media friends. I'm humbled as the incumbent president of the Association of Philippine-China Understanding, or APPCU. I would say that since the inception and the founding of the award for promoting Philippine-China Understanding, APPCU for short, in 2021, this award-giving body in many ways has been successful in making headway in honoring and paying tribute to the Filipinos who have made efforts through time to strengthen friendly ties and promote mutual understanding between the Philippines and China, using their respective advocacies and expertise in various fields and disciplines of mass media, public service, trade and commerce, arts, culture, and the sciences. We, the Association for Philippine-China Understanding and the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in the Republic of the Philippines, we take pride in the efforts of the two organizations in ensuring the progress and growth of this initiative. Now, in its third year, we are just as honored and delighted as we were in its launching 2 years ago to see how we have worked systematically in collaboration with various groups, communities, and organizations in bringing into realization the mission and goals of APPCU as an award-giving body. The laureates of this year's APPCU awards are the embodiment of the openness of the Philippines and China to go beyond the limiting constructs of politics, ideologies, and even ethnicities, if only to accommodate, promote, and instill the more valuable aspects of amity, cooperation, and understanding between the Filipino and the Chinese people. On this note, I would like to mention and honor this year's APPCU Hall of Fame awardees. Number one, Honorable former President, Philippine President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, and former Special Envoy of the President to the People's Republic of China, Ambassador Carlos Chan. The awardees for the APPCU Outstanding Contribution are Ambassador Rigoberto T. Diglao, a columnist at the Manila Times and the former Philippine Ambassador to Greece and Cyprus, and Dr. Jaime T. Cruz, former Special Envoy to the People's Republic of China for Trade and Investments. The awardees for the major contribution category are Regina Rosa D. Texan, the Director of the Satellite Office of Vice President Sara Duterte in Davao City, and Jose Ong Tahan, the former President of APPCU Baguio and also the former Chairman of the Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce of Baguio City. The 6 APPCU laureates of this year will be recognized in an award ceremony to be held on the afternoon of June 8, 2023 at the Manila Hotel. I'm inviting everyone to celebrate this momentous occasion with us. As the President of APPCU, it has always been my honor to represent the association in all its undertaking, more so with the APPCU as we work hand in hand with the Chinese Embassy here in Manila in sustaining and ensuring the success of this joint initiative, not only in reinforcing relations between the two countries, but more importantly in raising the awareness and reappraisal of the Filipino-Chinese historical roots and ties. We take pride in every small step we make in this initiative as a learning experience to help us thrive in our shared culture as a people and as a nation. Thank you. Wilson?
Thank you very much, APPCU President Mr. Sixto Benedicto, for announcing the list of winners this year and for friendship. Next, we would like to request Embassy of China Consular Dr. GTNR give us a message. I'd like to give a short introduction. He is a dynamic diplomat, formerly in Canada, in other places. He is an economist by training. Institute of Economy and Politics, Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. He also has a master's degree from Nanyang Technological University of Singapore. Also educated from Beijing Foreign Studies University. Diplomats in the Philippines today. Let us welcome China Embassy Consular Dr. message on behalf of the Chinese Embassy.
Rosen, you are Ambassador Carlos Chan, you are Mr. Sixto Benedicto, Mr. Peter Lavina, and other board of the members of APPCU, dear Professor Laurel, and Mr. Ado Agrilawan. And dear friends from the media and all those present, a pleasant day to you all. On behalf of the Chinese Embassy and the Ambassador Huang Xilian, let me start by congratulating the newly honored awardees who will become part of our laureates circle. I would also like to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to the APPCU board and the APPCU committee for their unwavering dedication to make this event possible. China and the Philippines, as close neighbors facing each other across the sea, have enjoyed a long history of amicable exchanges. Earlier this year, President Xi Jinping and President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. emphasized that our two countries have similar goals and paths of development and enjoy vast potential for cooperation, including people exchanges. In light of these developments and establishment of improved lines of communication and cooperation, it is now more imperative than ever for us to strengthen the people-to-people relationships and mutual understanding. Just like our leaders' pursuit of stronger China-Philippines relations, the APPCU signifies our fortified connection in all respects. It is meant to acknowledge and pay tribute to those who have made great contributions in enhancing mutual understanding in our peoples and promoting cooperation in various fields. Now, in its third year, the 2023 APPCU grows with a more significant role. The various valuable and unparalleled contributions keep our centuries-long friendship more vigorous than ever and prevalent up to this day. China views the Philippines as a priority in its neighborhood diplomacy. We will continue to carry forward with the goals and ambitions of China-Philippines friendship. In the future, we hope to see more Filipino talents and professionals become a part of our excellent roster of APPCU laureates that continues to flourish every year. As we celebrate another year of APPCU, coinciding with China-Philippines Friendship Day on June the 9th, may our unbreakable bond and mutual understanding become stronger and further develop in the years to come. Before I conclude my words, I would like to take this opportunity to invite and welcome all friends from the media to attend and report on the awarding ceremony of APPCU 2023 on June the 8th. Thank you. Nabuhay.
Thank you very much, Councilor Dr. G. Lingpen, for your message and for inviting our media friends to the auspicious awarding ceremony on June 8th. And for reminding us that June 9 is Philippine-China Friendship Day every year. Thank you very much, Dr. G. So I'd like to invite Executive Vice President of APPCU and Davao Civic Leader, Mr. to give this message.
So, good morning, everyone. Much has already been said by both APCO President Noy Benedicto and Councilor G. I would like to add a few highlights and maybe context about the awards. We would like to give credit to the people who initiated these awards. Of course, our Chair Emeritus, former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, and our Chairman, Raul Lambino, on the side of APCO, and on the side of the Chinese government, former Foreign Minister and State Councilor Wang Yi, who has now been elevated as head of the Foreign Affairs Commission of the People's Republic of China, and Ambassador Wang Xilian. The concept of this award started during a period of difficulty. We were having the pandemic at the time, but we were able to push it starting in 2021. The committee has been chaired by Noy Benedicto, who has been now elevated also as our APCO president. We have also our treasurer, General Ding Pase. And of course, you know everyone, our co-chair, Anna Uy, who has already provided many of our friends in the media with the briefing papers about these awards. But let me just share a few highlights. We are only on our third year. Tatlong taon pa lang. But you will already know how prestigious the awards has become. In fact, we are holding this award ceremony during the time of the anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relations between the People's Republic of China and the Philippines, which is set on June 9. Our awards, as already announced, will be on June 8. And this has become one of the key activities in celebrating Philippine-China friendship period, no? During that week. In just 3 years, we have already involved 4 presidents of the Republic. Of course, our Chair Emeritus, PGMA. We have an awardee last year in 2022, one of our Hall of Famers, former President Joseph Estrada. And our awarding ceremony last year was attended by President-elect Bongbong Marcos. And this year, one of our Hall of Fame awardees will be another president, former President Rodrigo Duterte. So imagine in just 3 years, we were able to involve already 4 presidents of the Republic. The awards has become prestigious. It has become more well-known thanks to our friends in the media. In fact, we are now having problems. During the first awarding ceremony, it was hybrid. Very few people attended on-site, and then most of us were online via Zoom. Last year, we have a full-pack convention center in Dusit Hotel. And now, we will be holding it in Manila Hotel in several rooms because more and more people are attending our award ceremonies. In just 3 years, we have already awarded 27 laureates. 2 of them are here. Last year, we have Professor Banlawi and your colleague in the media, Ado. 10 during the first year, 10 during the second year, but we have a special Sultan Sultan Paduka Pahala Award for former Ambassador Chito Santa Romana. And this year, we will have 6 awardees for a total of 27 in just 3 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, that proves to you that the awards has become very successful, and with your help, we are looking forward to award more Filipinos with their outstanding work in bringing friendship and understanding between our two peoples. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Lavinia, EVP of APPCU, for explaining the background of these prestigious annual awards, APPCU, and announcing details of the awarding ceremony on June 8th. Next, we'd like to go to the question. Next, we'd like to invite one of the awardees this year, Hall of Fame awardee, a short message. Ambassador Carlos Chan, I'd like to make a short introduction of our special Hall of Fame awardee. He is a respected industrialist, philanthropist, Chairman Emeritus of Liwayway Group of Companies, more well known for the product brand name Oishi. He is also former Philippine Special Envoy to China. Let us welcome via Zoom Ambassador Carlos Chan. Share a few words to the media friends and to the public. Welcome, Ambassador Carlos Chan via Zoom. He will be attending the awarding ceremony on June 8th.
Good morning, everyone. I am deeply honored and humbled to accept the 2023 award from the Association of Philippine-China Understanding, APPCU, being selected for the Hall of Fame category alongside former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte fills me with immense pride and gratitude. These efforts have contributed to mutual understanding, respect, and warm friendship between the Filipino and Chinese people, as well as the enrichment of the Philippine economy. For almost 20 years, I have the privilege of serving as Philippine Special Envoy to China, allowing me to present the Philippines in various capacities. My responsibilities including promoting trade and investment, fostering tourism, and facilitating cultural exchanges between our nations. I would like to express my sincere appreciation and gratitude to former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, the late President Benigno Noynoy Aquino, and former President Rodrigo Duterte for their trust and confidence in appointing me as the Philippine Special Envoy to China. I am so grateful to APPCU for these invaluable awards. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Carlos Chan, for your inspiring words and for your service to the country as Special Envoy to China under several administrations. Next, we'd like to go to the question and answer session, focusing on the APPCU awards as our main topic. But before we go into that, I'd like to acknowledge some officers of APPCU. And also trustee Mr. Chintan, and also our trustee Mr. Alexander Chua. And our APCO active member, Mr. Amada Sancho. Mr. Laurel is also there. Thank you for joining us. The people who in front will answer some questions. Aside from our speakers earlier, we have Dr. Herman beside me, Chairman of the Philippine Institute for Peace, Balance, and the academy. Of course, we met at the APPCU last year. So with us is Mr. Adolfo on the other side of the table, also winner of APPCU, Vice President of Asian Century Philippine Strategic Studies. We'd like to we got some next questions that we'd like to ask the people here. What are your hopes and expectations about the awarding ceremony this year? Anyone among you would like to answer? What do you expect? We heard President Bongbong Marcos is again attending. Is President Duterte attending? Some media people are asking. Can you give us some little ideas about the attendance of the awardees?
As of today, our preparations, all the awardees have confirmed, and each one have been asked to name and indicate the number of their companions. We are expecting over 300 guests. No, it will be at the main ballroom of the Manila Hotel. We expect the ceremony to be very short but meaningful. And then after the awarding ceremonies, we will host dinner, no, to honor our awardees. Members of APPCU and the Chinese Embassy will also be represented, as well as all our previous awardees have been invited. So this will be a meaningful celebration, Wilson.
Yes.
Bringing together the awardees, members of APPCU, members of the Chinese Embassy, many invited in the Chinese community, as well as our friends in the media.
Thank you very much. There are like 5 questions from the media here asking what are your hopes and expectations about Philippines-China relations in the coming years? And now and in the coming years, the question asking me is, considering the geopolitical uncertainties in the world, what are your hopes and expectations about bilateral relations? How could we improve it even more? Can our speakers in front make some comments? What are your hopes, expectations, and your suggestions? Yes. Dr. Banlawi would like to go first.
Good morning to everyone. I have very high hopes that Philippines-China relations will really shift to a higher gear for the years to come, despite a lot of disinformation going on that the current president is pivoting towards the United States as a result of his recent visit in Washington, D.C., where he met President Biden and pledged that the United States will be ironclad in its commitment to defend the Philippines. I did a lot of research because I am a professor and I am a researcher, so I rely on data rather than relying on disinformation. And in this era of fake news, in this golden age of social media, this is what we need, is greater understanding. And what will be our greater understanding of the current situation that we find ourselves? First, there's no doubt that President Bongbong Marcos' visit to the United States strengthened Philippine-American Security Alliance. That is a fact. It really strengthened with the expansion of Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement. That is true. But if you will look at the economic data, Philippines-China relations is far stronger than Philippine-American economic relationship. In terms of trade, in terms of investment, and in terms of import and export, China continues to be the Philippines' greatest economic partner. So in the economic side, it's still Philippines and China remain to be stronger, and we hope to sustain that kind of economic momentum. Okay, but in the security side, Philippines-American relations has become stronger. Now, how can we deal with the current situation? I think the Philippines now is flying its own two wings. One wing with the United States on security aspect and one wing on China on economic aspect. But I think in my analysis of the current needs of the Filipino people, I think economic needs is the priority. And I hope Philippines and China will sustain its economic cooperation in order to address many issues associated with the Philippines' attempt to achieve post-pandemic economic recovery, especially in the area of poverty alleviation. And we can learn a lot of lessons from China because China is the only country in the world that has brought 800 million human beings from absolute poverty. Just imagine that's a great contribution of China to the whole world, not only to the Chinese people. And we want to learn lessons from China on how to fight poverty. Second, on how to increase agricultural productivity. I have visited the Beijing Agricultural University, and China has been doing a lot of great work in Africa. And I told my friends in the university, please do more work in the Philippines, especially right now that our Secretary of Agriculture is the president himself. So, and third, this is what I discovered about China's great contribution to the Philippines. I visited China's Shanghai University of Traditional Medicine, and they have a lot of knowledge to share with us on how to use traditional medicine in this post-pandemic world. So we can share a lot of ideas with the Chinese people. So there are many areas where China and the Philippines can truly cooperate, okay? And this cooperation will lead to greater understanding, not only between the two countries, but also among our people. So that is now the situation. So geopolitically, don't be lose sight of the fact that Philippines-China relationship remains to be strong. And if you will go to restaurant in China, you'll see our durian there, our banana there, and our tropical fruits there. And we want to sustain that kind of relationship and friendship. Now, when it comes to security matters, we will handle them in a proper way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Herman, for overview of Philippine-China relations in the future. Before we proceed, I'd like to acknowledge a special guest in this PressCon. We have the presence of nationalist former Senator Nikki Cossetting here. She's here to support the APPCU award. I invited her because she's a strong friend of China and an advocate of bilateral relations and a good friend of Ambassador Carlos Chan, our Hall of Fame awardee. We have many questions here. We'd like to give, please write down your questions and give it to Clarissa. Ms. Vivian Gunya of ABS-CBN has a question for our experts here in front. May we get your thoughts and reactions on the future of Philippine-China relations, considering there are still issues on the territorial disagreements, especially like how she wants to know what is the impact, if any, to the bilateral ties about the Brunei. I'm not very familiar about this. I read some news about it. Yes, can somebody briefly comment about it? And how could we navigate these small issues and look at the bigger picture and improve bilateral ties? Can anyone comment briefly about this? Short lang, because we want to make the press conference very short. Any short comments? Mr. Labinya, would you like to make a brief comment? How can we move forward and address these issues which are grabbing the headlines?
Maybe we should look at this way. It is true that the South China Sea is literally and figuratively dividing us. We are on the eastern side, China on the western side of the sea. But we have to look at the behavior of the sea. It is like our friendship. Many times the sea is calm, and there are times it is stormy. Whether it is calm or stormy, the sea will always be there. No? Our relationship was multifaceted. It is not only about the territorial dispute. We are, as mentioned, we have diplomatic ties, we have government to government, we have business to business. We in APPCU about people to people. Professor Banlawi mentioned the academe, so there are so many aspects of our relations. So just one should not be conclusive, no, to define the relationship between our two countries. So I think we should look at the relationship that way, no. Now we should look at it whole in the totality of our relations, not just one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lavinia, and thank you for the question from Ms. Vivian Gunya. Also, similar question from Rafi Aying of Daily Tribune. But I think Rafi Aying wants to add, how can APPCU awards improve relations between two countries? His additional question. How can you see this prestigious APPCU award help advance bilateral ties and minimize lingering misunderstandings? He also said that Philippines is not only has a misunderstanding with China regarding the seas, we also have with Vietnam, Malaysia. Actually, Vietnam has more than others. So how can APPCU help improve ties? Mr. Rafi Ayang's question. Short answer for a short question.
Being a laureate, I've experienced that I have reinvented myself after receiving the award years ago. Basically because the areas where a real vibrant Philippine-China relationship is concerned must not be confined to security issues. In fact, I consider the security issue the most minimum, the most insignificant in the Philippine-China relationship. Why? Because as it stands, we have no problem with China. Only those who are against China are inventing disinformation to the tune of $500 billion. Can you imagine that? They had to provide by law additional just to demonize China. And this I consider as an act of a declining power. And so, if it's a declining power, our problem with this country who's creating all these problems for China in the Philippines will be transitory. Okay? But what would stay for basically a laureate to contribute to Philippine-China relationship, as I have done, is basically first in the aspect of strategic and academic studies. Why? Because this will put the truth in front and put the disinformation and fake news above where it belongs. What should be the aspect of these strategic studies besides our relationship? We can discuss areas of development. Academic papers should now involve itself instead of lingering on a security issue, which is should engage on the progress of the Philippines because we are Filipinos. All right. The second aspect that would facilitate this is on the basis of heritage and culture. We should promote first and foremost the Mandarin language among our youth, because China is the ascending power. Our youth, ang ating saling lahi, mga kabansa, ang dapat makinabang sa pangkasalukuyang kaunlaran ng ating bayan, no? And so we have to invest in the communication Mandarin language. The reason why it's very easy for another country to do this information is because we are 92% English speaking. But there are only about 10 to, there are only a few, not even 10% of the country. And that can perhaps be an objective for all laureates to be promoting that, an increase in Mandarin speaking. Third, in the aspect of community-based, not government to government, but community-based trade, tourism, and investments. I myself, I'm a nobody, but when I got the award, people have been telling me what does the Philippines need in terms of investments? Where can we invest? And so it results in a network of consultations and eventually end up with real investments coming to the Philippines. And the third aspect, perhaps, which should address the poor of this country, is the aspect of expanding in the traditional Chinese medicine. We are so dependent on Western medicine that it is only concerned with intervention. Traditional Chinese medicine is concerned with prevention and making the body cure the disease. So there's a basic, these are the basic areas where I see the greater enthusiasm, greater exuberance between our two peoples. How do I see the relationship between our two countries? China is an essential element in our development, in our national interests, security included. Going back and finally ending with security, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of China and the Minister of Defense of China has already said that we are confronted with nothing that we cannot discuss. We can resolve many of our issues through bilateral negotiations. And so, in the ways of peace, we will continue promoting Philippine-China understanding.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adlo Paglinawan. There is a very interesting question here from our journalist friend. This is addressed to Dr. Ji Lingpeng from the China Embassy. China recently sent 3 astronauts to space. It's a milestone for Asia. And China recently became the first Asian country to produce commercial jets, aside from US and France. They're asking, in the news, it came out in New York Times, Wall Street Journal, that China said they are trying to target before 2030 to send Chinese astronauts on the moon. And the news reports internationally said China is interested to bring foreign partners to space. Is there a possibility of the Philippines having an astronaut to accompany the space station? Is there? This is a question by a journalist who wants to know. If not, maybe we could suggest this through Dr. Ji Lingpeng. What is your opinion? And update us about this exciting space journey of China.
Thank you very much. I think it's a very, very interesting question. Actually, it's you know that China has China's technology is developing at a very high speed these years. We have sent the taikonauts or the astronauts to the space, and just a few days ago there were only 17 astronauts in the world, but I think 6 of them are Chinese. And just yesterday, 3 Chinese astronauts have come back to the Earth very, very safely. I think this APPCU aims to promote the people-to-people exchanges and mutual understanding between our 2 countries. I think with this, well, there are a lot of potential for cooperation between our 2 countries. Earlier this year, President Marcos paid a very successful visit to China, and the President Xi Jinping and him has emphasized the importance of the cooperation in wide areas. So I think if we may explore many ways to enhance our cooperation, including the space cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There's another question here from another journalist friend. He's saying that our neighbors in Indonesia start commercial operation of the first high-speed train in Southeast Asia built by China, the Jakarta to Bandung high-speed train that is 142.3 kilometers in distance, running at 350 kilometers per hour. Can the Philippines expect to have a possibility of a high-speed train project or any major train project similar? Can anyone among the panelists comment on this? Would this be a good idea? A high-speed train? Yes, is there a possibility Philippines would cooperate with China to compete with Indonesia to get another high-speed train? Indonesia is starting it, the journalist said, August commercial operation already. Any updates on trains?
Yes, as we all know, that Chinese high-speed train is developing very fast in the last decades, and we are also have the cooperation in this area with many other countries like Indonesia and Laos. Just 2 years ago, the first high-speed railway has been completed in the Laos to connect China and Laos. Actually, it is the first railway in Laos. Laos used to be a landlocked country, but with this, it is becoming a country which is connecting many other. I think it's connecting many other countries. China is also is also cooperating with Indonesia in building its first high-speed railway to connect Jakarta and Bandung. Earlier this year, when the President Marcos visited to China, and the Chinese President Xi Jinping, and he has emphasized that we may have more cooperations. But if we have, I think that the transportation is also a very important area of the China and the Philippines cooperation. China's, we may also to explore the cooperation in the high-speed railway, but as we know that it takes two to tango. In the future, in the future, I think we may explore the ways to in this area. I believe the bright future of our cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the good outlook on this cooperation, Dr. G. Lingpeng. We have a question, similar question from journalists here. Jason Rubico of SMNI is here in our press conference, and Mr. Both of them are asking, this is in Tagalog, I will translate in English. The English question. What are the considerations of APPCU Awards Committee in choosing this year, especially former President Rodrigo Duterte, who is known refused to accept recognitions and awards when he was in public office. Mr. Jason Rubico, who is also from Davao City, President Rodrigo Duterte doesn't like to accept recognitions and awards. The former President Rodrigo Duterte accept this APPCU awards. These two questions. Why did the committee choose him? And number two, made former President Duterte accept this award this coming June 8th. I heard with his wife. Marlene Ruiz of People's Tonight also asked similar question. How did you arrive at choosing people like former President Duterte? Any comments from the committee and from the president of APPCU?
Thank you for the questions. The judging process of the awards goes through like this. We announced a period for nominations. No? After the period of nominations, we have a three-stage awarding judging system. First, we judge if they are qualified. And the second stage goes through evaluating their performances. And then the last is to select the three categories: the Hall of Famer, the Outstanding Award, and the other award, no? Major Contribution Award. So, what happened to President Duterte? Somebody nominated him. We made an evaluation. He was qualified because he is no longer an incumbent official. Because our awards disqualifies officers of APPCU as well as high-ranking public officials. No? So when he was notified that he was nominated, he did not object. So when he was later on judged as an awardee, we sent a notice to him. Will he accept? Actually, we sent all the nominees if they will accept the awards. Eventually, the former president, accepted the award. It is in a similar situation as former Ambassador Bubi Tiglao. In the previous year, he was nominated but he declined. But this year, he said he will accept if he will be named. So, almost similar case. No? So, the 6 awardees now went through a series of process of nomination, evaluation, and judging.
3 rounds of judging.
Yes.
And I heard 30 plus prestigious nominees were considered. 30 plus. Also, by the way, before we proceed to the next question, somebody asked me, 2 journalists here, what is APPCU and how did it start? Short research that I did before this morning. APPCU, Association for Philippine-China Understanding, is a non-profit civic organization, NGO, established during the Cold War era when it wasn't popular yet to be a friend with China and other countries in the Eastern Bloc or Socialist Bloc. It was established February 27, 1974 by outstanding leaders of the Philippines led by Marietta, National Artist Alejandro Andres, National Artist Jose Hoya, former President Gemma Cruz Almeta, and many other civic and other cultural leaders that the Philippines and China should continue our 100 years of interrupted friendship. This, Jakarta and Bandung, and if it's possible for the Philippines to request a similar high-speed train project from China for the Philippines. Any comment, Dr. Laurel?
Yeah, thank you, Wilson. Incidentally, I just finished a research project entitled The Geopolitics and Status of Philippine Infrastructure and Investment Projects under China's Belt and Road Initiative. And I would like to share a portion of my research on the aspect of speed train. There are ongoing discussions regarding China's participation for the funding of PNR Bicol train project amounting to 142 billion pesos. And there's also a discussion on the Mindanao Railway Phase 1 project amounting to 83 billion pesos and very difficult, controversial Subic-Clark Railway project amounting to 50 billion pesos. So we just hope that the discussions will lead to good business transactions. So those are the things on the pipeline. And we're already lagging behind in terms of speed train development. And we need this kind of infrastructure to really encourage investments. The Philippines has three major problems when it comes to attracting investors. And China, despite all these three problems, is willing to invest. One problem that we have is high labor cost. Second is uncertain electricity supply. And third, poor infrastructure facilities. And we need to address all these three major issues to make the Philippines really an attractive area for global investment. But despite all these challenges, China is willing to contribute to our infrastructure development. And there are still a lot of areas where China can participate in our infrastructure development, including nuclear energy power development, thank you.
Yes, I would like to also say something, some words about that. Actually, China and the Philippines has achieved the consensus on to enhance the cooperation in 4 key areas, including infrastructure. Infrastructure is very important and helpful for the economic growth. In China, we have a saying that if one wants to be rich, you have to construct the road first. So high speed, in the last, I think in the last 2 decades, Chinese high speed railway has developed very fast, and it shows that the high speed railway is very helpful for the rapid economic growth. So in the Philippines, and just like Professor Banloi say that the Philippines is also considering to construct the high speed railway. So when President Marcos visited China earlier this year, President Xi Jinping and he emphasized the importance of the cooperation on infrastructure. I think that China and the Philippines have a lot of potential in this area, including high-speed railway. with regard to the detailed projects, I think the authorities of the two countries may study about that and to find a way for the future cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. G and Dr. Romel Manlawi. We have a question from former Senator Nikki Cosseteng, who is here. Thank you for gracing our press conference. Senator Nikki Cosseteng said, China is ahead of many Western countries in sports excellence, also in excellence in education, even science and technology. Can we look forward to more cooperation in these areas, especially sports, education, and science? She is an advocate of swimming. Yes, she is an educator also.
Thank you, Russ. I think you mentioned that today's press conference should be focused on APPCU.
Sorry, yes. Yes. Thank you.
I'm happy to answer this question because just a few days ago, Chinese famous athlete Yao Ming, who is the head of the Chinese basketball league, visited the Philippines to join a meeting here. But during his stay here, he was invited to the Malacañang to attend a charity event with many Filipino kids, and that event was also attended by the President Marcos and the First Lady, and also Vice President Sarah and many other friends from the Philippines. I think sports is also a part of people-to-people exchanges. President Xi Jinping and President Marcos have said that the two countries may enhance the cooperation on people-to-people exchanges. So we can see that cooperation on cultural and sports, including the basketball and any other. What is
education?
Education.
She is very good at mathematics.
Yes.
Very good at technical. Senator is an educator.
Yes.
She owns Diliman Prep. Yes.
Education is also a part of the people-to-people. We can see regarded as part of the people-to-people exchanges, and also a very important aspect of the bilateral relations between our two countries. Professor Pan just visited China a few days ago. He visited Beijing, very famous universities, including Peking University, Xiamen University, Renmin University, and many other universities in China. I think that many professors and have a few days ago, I received a delegation of from the Peking University, which sent I think more than about several students to study at in the Philippines to study Tagalog here. So I think that in the future we may have a lot of potential in education, because as you know, China and the Philippines are all all of us have a huge population. So the education is very important for the economic growth, especially we will also explore the area in the vocational education. I think in the future, I think the cooperation in the education has a lot of potential and may be enhanced in a high speed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jilin Peng. And thank you for those interesting questions from former Senator Nikki Cosenteng. Actually, she has several more questions, but maybe in another forum, very thought-provoking and very good questions from, we should invite Senator for a forum next time to discuss these issues. We have time for one more last question. The question that was asked here, actually there are many. Any last messages of our panelists here about the APPCU awards for June 8th? What do you look forward to? What do you hope this will, how will this affect the ongoing, the present status of our relations and to make the future brighter? In a very uncertain world, how do you see this APPCU helping contribute to Philippine progress, to Asian stability, and bilateral relations improvement? Short comments from everyone for our closing. What are your hopes and expectations about this award? Impact on bilateral relations and Asian stability and progress.
I hope that with this award, the APPCU awards, we create more awareness among our people and to better our relationship and probably have more exchanges between two countries, like immersions, sending students to China and also vice versa, sending Chinese students to the Philippines so they will know more and understand each people and culture. Since China and the Philippines have been friends for thousands of years, I think this is impossible for us to have problems. Any problem has a solution. So with this, I can see that there will be solutions in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Sixto Benedicto of APPCU. That concludes our press conference today. We would like to invite the public and our media friends. June 8th is the awarding ceremony, and this APPCU award, over 1,000 years of uninterrupted friendship and dynamic trade and commerce between the Philippines and China. Thank you very much to everyone for attending this press conference of APPCU and the Chinese Embassy. We have lunch for everyone and we have some simple gifts also for all our media friends. Once again, thank you very much. We'd like to ask all the media to please register for June 8th. Anyone who wants to attend, you have to pre-register. We have a picture taking. We'd like to invite everyone this time. Yes, we'd invite former Senator Nikki Cosenteng to join us. The board trustees, Mr. Kwa Ching Tan, General Pase, Mr. Chua. Our board trustees, can we invite you to please come forward and have a photo opportunity of this press conference? By the way, Senator Nikki Cosenteng is an advocate of true independent foreign policy for the Philippines. Yes, welcome. Sabi ni Sir Labinya, Asian Games will be in Hangzhou, China. Yes. Mr. Ado. Yes. Picture.
Okay, sir, you okay? Okay, ready.
Thank you very much. Lunch will be served to all our guests and media friends. Let's relax and enjoy lunch. Thank you very much to all our speakers and our officers of APPCU, members and supporters of APPCU. Thank you very much. Let us continue to promote better diplomatic, economic, cultural, and other exchanges between the Philippines and our neighbor China. Let us enjoy our lunch. Thank you very much. And we have simple gifts for all our media friends. Please don't forget. Thank you very much.
It's very